So I'm back, and Call of Duty Cold War Zombies just got revealed and people are going off. Some positive, some negative, but mostly positive. Now while I think this looks really good, I'm keeping a level head on all of it because after Black Ops 4, I'm very unsure about what Cold War will bring. Now with that, I wanted to see what the community thought about this reveal. What do they think about some of the features mentioned in the video, and what do they think about the map? So, I went to Twitter. This one says, disappointed that Chaos is not continuing after a great cliffhanger in Ancient Evil, especially since Craig Houston is still around. It's his story. The story was finally starting to pick up and became interesting in Ancient Evil. Shame Aether is still going. Now, I can agree to this to some extent. Now, I am actually really sick of the Aether storyline. I'm not a huge story person when it comes to zombies. I mean, fans of the channel know that I've never completed an Easter egg in my life, but at the same time, I am invested into the story to some extent. I really did enjoy the characters that were in the Aether, but I am done with them. They obviously ended their story, and now this is a sequel reboot sort of thing going on. Samantha, if this is truly her in the reveal trailer that we've seen, is obviously all grown up, which means there must be a grown up Edward Richtofen as well. At the same time, I look at all that and I think this is still the Aether, right? We're eventually going to see these characters come back, but just in a different way. I don't like that. I just hope we never see Takeo, Nikolai, and Dempsey come back. I'm sick of these characters, and I really just want them to go away. I'm done with the Aether storyline, and I really enjoyed the Chaos storyline. I know that is not a very popular opinion, but I actually think the Chaos storyline was very interesting, especially since I'm a huge Greek mythology fan. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very sad to see that this story came to a sudden end. Very disappointing. I know that's not a very popular opinion, but I can agree with this quite a bit, considering I really enjoyed Chaos, and it was really just starting to pick up, and there was so much more they could tell with that story. But yeah, shame to see that go. Now this says, Raygun always looks better every new game. Hopefully it kills better this time around, with a follow-up saying round 7 it makes crawlers in Black Ops 4. They destroyed the most iconic and beloved weapon game after game. Now this I agree with. I'm hoping that the Raygun in Cold War, Die Maschine, is really good. I'm really hoping they just buff this Raygun up, and so it's just an amazing weapon. It's like an absolute god roll of a weapon. It just destroys round after round after round, never drops off in any single round. The Raygun, one of the most iconic wonder weapons of all time. It's literally part of one of the most famous zombie memes. Revive me, I have the Raygun. It's a shame to see that the gun is nowhere near as good as it used to be. It's like just absolutely terrible, and I really hope that in Cold War it is so much better. I really want to see this Raygun actually like way better, and the way they're talking about things with like having a tier system, like a weapon rarity and all that, and you can upgrade your weapons along the way. If you could do this with the Raygun, that'll be freaking amazing. Imagine like having the Raygun, right, and you can upgrade it to the Raygun Mark II or something like that. I kind of don't really want that, because I'd rather them just be completely different weapons, but like, just imagine upgrading the Raygun to make it this absolute amazing weapon, just on par with the Apothicon Servant in terms of damage. Like, that would just be amazing, and I'd love to see that. But yeah, I really do hope the Raygun picks up in this game. Now this one says, this Zombies actually looks fun, although I'm not sure about the loadout idea. We'll definitely give it a try though. With a follow-up question saying, they talk about weapons having rarities in the maps, so what I'm guessing is that you'll probably be able to start with whatever, but they'll be trashed here, and after a while you'll have to swap it out for something else in the map in order to keep up. Now, this is very interesting. Yes, I do think that this might be a thing that happens, but instead of being able to swap it out, I reckon you could actually upgrade the weapons that you have time after time, because they did mention that you are going to be able to upgrade things. I reckon 100% you're going to be able to start off with whatever weapon you want with your loadout. You can start off with like an M16. Maybe at the start it's not very good, but after time it starts to get better and better the more you upgrade it, if you want to keep that weapon. But if you really want to, you can just swap it out for something of a better rarity. I'm thinking there might be something like risk-reward type things going on here with the rarity system. I'm thinking that, you can keep your M16 and keep upgrading it over time, but that is going to take a lot longer, meaning that it's going to take a lot more rounds to do. Whereas you can just, from the get-go, swap it out for like an uncommon weapon or a rare weapon, and it will do so much more damage in earlier rounds, meaning you won't have to bother about upgrading as much. But if you keep that M16, eventually it's going to start doing much more. So if you think about it, it's a high risk, high reward type situation, but it is very, very good at the end of the day. Which I'm really interested in all of this. I know there's been a few people saying that they don't like this loadout idea and that we should just start off with pistol. In fact, there's a question right here saying that. Taking away Jug ruined game progression as you didn't have health increase to work towards. Taking away a weak starting weapon will ruin game progression. Going from a pistol that's useless at round 4 to an AR felt like good progression. Now what's even the point of the box? Now you see, I disagree with this 100% because if you think about it, it's a loadout system, right? So you are allowed to start off with anything of your choice. If you want the challenge, if you want to have to be forced to use the box in your game, you don't have to start off with an AR. And not to mention, going back to the previous question, you're most likely going to have, your guns are going to be very, very shit. Like, they're going to be good for those earlier rounds, but eventually you're going to have to either swap them out or upgrade them. It's as simple as that. It's 100% going to have a rarity tier, and it is going to be the worst rarity tier of all, because I highly doubt they're going to make it that you can start off with a bloody wonder weapon from the get-go. It's only going to be weapons of your loadout, and they're going to be shit tier weapons, 100%. They will be good for the earlier rounds, but they will be terrible as you go on, so you're going to need to either upgrade them, or you're going to have to spend your points on a new weapon, which meaning you need to use the box or the wall weapons that you will see throughout the map. Any zombies after Black Ops 3 was and still is absolute garbage. Now, I mean, that's a bit harsh. I can agree to that with some extent. Black Ops 4, in my opinion, is the weakest of all of the zombies that Treyarch has actually made. Why? Black Ops 4 just was not received very well. The way they went about it was just terrible. They promised a lot of things that never actually happened in the game, like the factions being one of the biggest ones, never even went into the game because they just lost time and they just could not focus on that at the time. They lost a huge ton of the budget for zombies like midway through production, so the last 3 maps of the game weren't even finished properly, which is just terrible, especially since the Aether storyline this was the end of it, and it was fucking awful. It was one of the worst endings I've ever seen to anything in my life. We had nothing but remakes for the last lot of maps, which is just depressing, and honestly I just don't even see why they even bothered. There was just nothing fresh. The only fresh content we got was with the Chaos storyline, and that's another issue with that game, was they tried to bring the Chaos storyline in while they were ending another storyline, which is something they should never do again. Never make 2 storylines at the same time. They tried to do that with Victus and, Primus, and it just didn't work, because back in Black Ops 2, that was when zombies was kind of going into a downfall. Luckily, with Black Ops 3, it came back up again, but unfortunately it came crashing all back down again in Black Ops 4. It's absolutely terrible, and I'd never want to see something like that happen again. That's why I'm scared for Cold War. And I mean, I don't agree with that completely, because I love IW Zombies. I think that Zombies is absolutely amazing. Not really a big fan of World War II Zombies, but yeah, I've only played 1 map on that, so I don't really know too much about all that sort of stuff. Now, I think this one is just referring to people who were pissed off that the old crew isn't actually in this new Zombies map, and this person was just like kind of talking about that. Simply saying, so you don't know how story writing goes. They killed the old crew, they can't use them anymore, get over it. Besides, they aren't the only crew in Zombies. Mob of the Dead had an excellent set of characters and is one of the best maps. Now this I really agree with. Here's the thing, right? I think it's time to just move on from the crew. Move on from Primus, move on from Ultimus. It's time to let them go to rest. If you look at the voice actors, when they were doing their last sort of thing where they were all together in that YouTube video and they were saying goodbye and everything, you could clearly tell this was the end of their characters. They are not coming back. Nolan North, the voice actor for Richtofen, has even said that he won't be in Cold War Zombies. So it's already basically proved that we're not going to see these characters again. Because I highly doubt they're going to replace Richtofen's voice actor. If they replace Richtofen's voice actor, that is crazy. Unless they are completely different versions of themselves again, which I don't want, because I'm sick of them. I just want a whole new set of fresh characters. Now, I know this map does not have base characters. We're going to be playing specialists from, you know, multiplayer and all that sort of stuff, which, I don't know, I don't really care, to be honest. Like, I just think for now, I just really just want to focus on like the map's gameplay and how this game's actually going to play. I couldn't care less about storyline stuff right now, as this is a complete reboot. So we're like, this is the first map only of the new storyline. I highly doubt they're going to do something absolutely ridiculous, because think about it, the last storyline lasted 10 years. This is the beginning of a whole new storyline. It could last a whole nother 10 years. I don't think it really matters about where our characters are going to be at the moment. So let's just keep that down and just focus on how the game's going to play first, and then worry about characters later on. And now this one just simply reads, Elemental Zombies again? One of the worst new features of Black Ops 4, and this I definitely agree with, because I did not enjoy the Elemental Zombies in Black Ops 4. I think they are the worst part about that game. Like, you could say anything you want. Like, you could say the HUD's bad, you could say the gameplay's bad. I don't care. The Elemental Zombies is what really killed that for me. I thought they were going to be cool because they were going to create like this extra sort of challenge, but they created too much of a challenge. Now, there's a point to where something is a challenge and then an annoyance. That's what Elemental Zombies are. The Catalyst Zombies especially, since they buff up the normal zombies and make them even stronger than what they already are, which is ridiculous considering the normal zombies' base damage is absolutely fucked anyways. So giving them extra damage is just overkill. Not to mention on the map 9, which is easily my favourite map of Black Ops 4, I will not deny it has major problems. One of them being that it's got too many mini-bosses during a round. Like, I was playing it just before, and like, I was almost certain there was a elemental zombie of each element. So 4 of them, not to mention there were about 2 brawlers, 2 gladiators, and on top of all of that, a Blightfather. It is ridiculous how much they put in one map in one round. It is insane, and I never want to see something like that ever again, because it's just disgusting. And I'm really hoping that the elemental zombie we've seen is just one type and nothing more, and it only shows up every now and again. Maybe it's the dogs for that round, I don't know. I'm just hoping that they aren't something that pop up every round like in 9. It is ridiculous, and it just makes the map very unfun, and it just makes it more of a challenge, which, you know, I understand that to some extent, but I would rather just have some casual games every now and again where I can just have fun. So as you can see, guys, the community are very positive. There are obviously some negative people, but I can understand why they are, because they're obviously very disconnected with Treyarch after Black Ops 4. They're very pissed off about the last game, and they obviously don't trust them with this new game, which is completely understandable. At the moment, I'm trying to keep a level head with everything. I just want to make sure I'm not too excited for zombies. I do like the look of this new map. It definitely looks really good, but I want to see some gameplay beforehand, which is why I'm not pre-ordering it, and I'm not going to be buying it on release. I'm going to wait a couple of days, see what I think about it when I've seen some gameplay, and if I like the look of it, I'll get it, and if I don't, I won't. And I think a lot of other people should do the exact same thing, just to be on the safe side, because after Black Ops 4, I'm a little bit untrustworthy with Treyarch. So anyways, that's been that, guys. I hope you did enjoy this video. Obviously, my content is very different to how it used to be. So this next month, I'm going to be uploading a ton of zombies content. I'm going to try and push out 2 videos a week. Don't hold my word to that. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm not very good at that sort of shit, so we'll see how we go. Editing is a little bit different now because I actually have a PC, so I can actually properly edit. I'm using Sony Vegas to edit now, which is really nice. So yeah, my production values went up a little bit. So now we have went from, you know, bloody B budget studio to a bloody B+ budget studio. So fuck yeah, we're on the roll here. So yeah, this next month I'm going to be uploading a ton of zombies content. I wanted to upload years and years ago, because now I can actually do it. So anyways, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. I'll stop wasting your time. Obviously my outros are still long. I apologize. I'm trying to get better at this sort of stuff. Anyways, Hope yous enjoyed. It's good to be back. I will see you in the next video of mine. See you later, guys. Have a nice day. Oh yeah, Lou's got a mullet in his hair. Oh yeah, bigger than his own hair. Oh yeah, mullet in his hair. Oh yeah, Lou's got a mullet in his hair. Oh yeah, bigger than his own head. Big ol' mullet in his hair. Well, Luke's big ol' mullet is so goddamn big, bigger than his own fridge, bigger than that 5 head of his.